In the world of WWE, most superstars begin their careers when they're young, full of energy, ambition, and time on their side. But there are a few who chose a different path. They stepped into the ring later in life, when their dreams seemed long past their prime. Yet, these individuals proved that passion and determination can break every boundary, turning age into nothing more than a number. Today, let's explore the incredible stories of those who defied time itself in wrestlers who started their careers late. Let's get started. Wrestling Sphere, go! Diamond Dallas Page, the greatest late bloomer in wrestling history. In a world where most superstars rise to fame in their youth, Diamond Dallas Page stands as living proof that it's never too late to start. While Steve Austin, The Rock, and Bill Goldberg were hitting their peaks in their 20s, DDP was just beginning his journey to become a professional wrestler at the age of 35. It seemed impossible, but that late start would become the very thing that defined his legacy. Page knew he didn't have time to waste. So instead of following the usual playbook, he built his own system, meticulously choreographing every move, every sequence, every reaction. This approach allowed him to accelerate his progress, turning what could have been a disadvantage into an edge of precision and intelligence. He was also among the first wrestlers to use ice bath therapy after matches, helping his body recover faster and keeping him as strong and agile as men half his age. When DDP finally stepped into the WCW ring, he brought more than just skill. He brought experience. Having worked as a manager before, he understood the business inside and out, the backstage politics, storytelling, and the art of captivating an audience. That knowledge helped him develop his unique style, and within just a few years, he captured the United States Championship in 1994, a rare feat for someone who started so late. But DDP's true rise came when he refused to join the villainous NWO faction, choosing instead to stand for what was right. That decision turned him into one of WCW's most beloved heroes. With his relentless energy and fighting spirit, he thrilled fans everywhere, especially in his iconic tag match alongside NBA star Karl Malone against Hulk Hogan and Dennis Rodman, a moment that defined an era. In 1999, at nearly 43 years old, Diamond Dallas Page reached the pinnacle, winning the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. It was undeniable proof that passion and perseverance can defeat the limits of age. Even though WCW's fall and his brief WWE run didn't bring the same glory, DDP's legacy remains bright. The story of a man who dared to start late and proved that coming in last doesn't mean you lose. Dave Bautista, the animal who rose late but burned bright. While most wrestlers rise to fame in their 20s, Dave Bautista's journey began at an unexpected crossroads. At 30, when many had already settled into their careers, he stepped into the brutal world of professional wrestling. No one could have imagined that this latecomer would one day become a 6-time world champion, and later, a global movie star. Before becoming the Animal, Bautista was a bodybuilder and nightclub bouncer. Life wasn't easy. A fight outside a club landed him a year of probation, and he once couldn't afford Christmas gifts for his daughter. That moment of hardship became his turning point. Seeing potential in his massive physique, Bautista decided to start over, and wrestling became his escape. With his enormous frame and raw power, Bautista quickly caught the attention of WWE scouts. He was sent to Ohio Valley Wrestling, the legendary training ground that produced stars like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, and Shelton Benjamin. Compared to them, Bautista was older and less experienced, but that only fueled his determination to work twice as hard. In 2002, Bautista debuted on the main roster and immediately made an impact. A year later, he joined Evolution alongside Triple H, Ric Flair, and Randy Orton, a faction that launched him into superstardom. As fans grew to love the Animal for his explosive power and fierce persona, Bautista etched his name in history by defeating Triple H at WrestleMania 21 to win his first World Heavyweight Championship. Throughout the 2000s, he became the face of SmackDown, carrying the brand with unmatched presence and charisma. When he'd achieved everything there was in the ring, Bautista turned to Hollywood, and once again reached new heights. His role as Drax the Destroyer in Guardians of the Galaxy transformed him into a worldwide icon. Even after leaving WWE, he returned twice. Once in 2014 to help elevate Daniel Bryan to superstardom, and again in 2018 to close his career in a final battle with his mentor, Triple H. Dave Bautista is living proof that success knows no age limit. Only passion and willpower determine who truly shines. Braun Strowman, the late-blooming monster who took WWE by storm. Braun Strowman is the definition of, it's never too late to start. He entered the world of wrestling at 30, an age when most others were already established stars. Yet within just a few years, he became one of the most dominant and terrifying monsters in WWE history. Before stepping into the ring, Strowman was a decorated strongman competitor, winning numerous strength contests throughout his 20s. But deep down, he knew his destiny lay elsewhere. His big break came when WWE legend Mark Henry, himself a former powerlifter, recognized Strowman's immense potential and recommended him to the company. In 2013, Strowman signed a developmental deal with WWE, marking the beginning of a new chapter. With his gigantic build and raw strength, he immediately caught the eye of Vince McMahon. Just 2 years later, Strowman was called up to the main roster, debuting as a member of the Wyatt family in 2015. His intimidating presence, piercing stare, and comic book-like physique left fans in awe. After breaking away from the group, Strowman launched his solo run and quickly became the powerhouse of Raw. Despite his size, his speed and aggression made him one of the most captivating performers of his era. His crowning moment came at WrestleMania 37, when he defeated Bill Goldberg to capture the Universal Championship, a career-defining victory that solidified his place among WWE's elite. But glory didn't last forever. In 2021, Strowman was shockingly released from WWE and later joined EC3's Control Your Narrative promotion, a temporary setback in his career. Still, with his unmatched physique and commanding presence, the monster among men remains a force of nature. And when he returns, fans can expect to see a Braun Strowman fiercer and more unstoppable than ever before. Gene Snitzky, the latecomer known for, "It wasn't my fault." Among wrestlers who began their careers later in life, Gene Snitzky stands out as one of the most unusual cases. He joined WWE at 33, an age when most superstars had already established themselves. Yet, Snitzky was determined to prove that it wasn't too late to make his mark in the brutal world of wrestling. Starting out in WWE's developmental territories, Snitzky slowly worked his way up, first appearing on Sunday Night Heat before finally debuting on Raw. It was there that he became both famous and infamous for his involvement in one of the most controversial storylines of the mid-2000s. In the angle involving Kane and Lita, Snitzky accidentally caused Lita to miscarry, leading to one of the most shocking moments of that era. From then on, his catchphrase, "It wasn't my fault," became iconic, turning him into a character fans simultaneously despised and remembered. However, that same storyline also defined and limited his career. Despite his intimidating look and powerful presence, Snitzky lacked the in-ring skill needed to rise higher up the card. After his feud with Kane ended, he gradually slipped into the mid-card and was used more for entertainment value. At one point, he teamed up with Heidenreich, another eccentric character, in a bizarre tag team gimmick where the two shared a strange obsession with feet. Though the idea was widely seen as a creative flop, Snitzky still carved out a place for himself during the Ruthless Aggression era, a time when WWE wasn't afraid to experiment with wild, over-the-top ideas. He may never have reached the main event, but Gene Snitzky remains one of WWE's most memorable late bloomers, a man who turned a single line into the lasting symbol of his career. Rico, the late-blooming hero with WWE's strangest journey. In a world where superstars usually start young, Rico Constantino was a rare exception. He didn't truly begin his wrestling career until age 38, an age when most athletes are thinking about retirement. But instead of accepting his limits, Rico chose to challenge them. Before joining WWE, Rico led a remarkably diverse life. He worked as a paramedic, served on a SWAT team, and even competed on American Gladiators. In every field, he displayed incredible discipline and physical resilience. Yet in 1998, he realized his true dream had always been professional wrestling. He began training with the Empire Wrestling Association in Southern California, where the nearly 40-year-old rookie stunned everyone with his endurance and determination, matching younger wrestlers move for move. After 4 years of hard work, Rico earned a WWF contract and made his debut in 2002 as the flamboyant stylist for Billy and Chuck, a bold, headline-grabbing storyline that pushed boundaries for its time. Behind the flashy persona, however, was a technically skilled wrestler who proved his ability in tag team matches. When the infamous fake gay wedding storyline ended and the team split, Rico took on a new role managing 3-Minute Warning before launching a solo career with his new manager, Jackie Gaeta. He even scored a surprising victory over Ric Flair, though fans quickly realized Rico shined brighter in tag team action than as a singles competitor. Soon after, he teamed up with Charlie Haas, forming an unexpectedly entertaining and dynamic duo. Their chemistry paid off when they captured the WWE Tag Team Championship, a rare and well-deserved triumph for a man who began so late. Still, time eventually caught up. As age and physical strain took their toll, Rico left WWE and had a brief run with All Japan Pro Wrestling before retiring. Though he never reached the same heights as many of his peers, Rico remains an inspiring figure, a true late bloomer who dared to start when others had stopped, turning age into a testament to perseverance and passion. The Boogeyman, the 40-year-old monster who terrified WWE. The Boogeyman isn't your typical name in WWE history, and the story behind the man beneath the horror makeup is even stranger. Martin Wright, the performer behind the terrifying persona, began his wrestling training at 40, an age when most athletes are thinking about retirement, not starting a new career. At first, Wright wasn't welcomed by WWE. In 2004, he auditioned for Tough Enough Season 4, hoping to change his life. To increase his chances, he lied about his age. When WWE discovered he was actually 40, they immediately disqualified him, claiming he was too old for professional wrestling. But Wright didn't quit. His determination and imposing physique caught the eye of several trainers, and he was soon invited to Ohio Valley Wrestling to see what he could do. Under the guidance of Jim Cornette, the Boogeyman was born, a nightmare come to life with broken teeth, blood-red face paint, and the chilling habit of eating live worms in the ring. When he debuted in 2005, Boogeyman became an instant sensation. Every entrance felt like a horror scene. Eerie drums echoed, smoke filled the ramp, and he crawled out of the shadows, sending chills down the spines of fans everywhere. WWE built him up as a living nightmare, a supernatural figure who tormented the villains of the company. One of his most memorable moments came at WrestleMania 22, when he defeated Booker T in a bizarre and unforgettable match that left audiences both horrified and fascinated. However, due to his age, Wright couldn't maintain the physical demands of a full-time wrestling schedule. After a few years, he transitioned into more comedic and backstage segments before leaving WWE in 2009. Still, the Boogeyman has returned several times for special appearances, and every time he does, even for a few minutes, the crowd erupts with a mix of fear and excitement. He stands as proof that you don't need to be young to become a legend, only brave enough to step into the nightmare and make it your own. Shayna Baszler, the late-blooming warrior who earned WWE's respect. Not many athletes can start their wrestling careers at 35 and still go on to dominate an era, but Shayna Baszler did just that. Before entering WWE, she was a professional MMA fighter and a member of the Four Horsewomen of MMA alongside Ronda Rousey, Marina Shafir, and Jessamyn Duke. Inside the UFC octagon, Shayna was known for her elite grappling skills and ruthless, cold-blooded fighting style, traits that would later define her wrestling persona. After retiring from MMA, Baszler decided to chase a new dream, professional wrestling. In 2015, she began training and competing on the independent circuit, even traveling to Japan to refine her craft with stardom. Her technical foundation and fighting background set her apart from other newcomers. By 2017, WWE saw her potential and signed her to the NXT brand. From her debut, Shayna wasted no time making an impact. She captured the NXT Women's Championship from Ember Moon at TakeOver, New Orleans, beginning a 133-day reign. Though she briefly lost the title to Kairi Sane, Shayna reclaimed it at Evolution, becoming the first woman in NXT history to win the championship twice. Her second reign lasted an incredible 416 days, a record that still commands respect. During her dominance, Shayna defeated top-tier opponents such as Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, and Mia Yim. Her defining moment came at Survivor Series 2019, where she beat Becky Lynch and Bayley in a triple threat match, solidifying herself as one of WWE's most dangerous women. Even after losing the NXT title to Rhea Ripley in a historic main event, one that helped NXT outperform AEW in viewership for the first time, Shayna's reputation as one of the brand's most complete performers remained untouched. After being promoted to the main roster, her partnership with Nia Jax marked a slower phase, but under Triple H's leadership, Baszler has since regained her edge. From MMA cage fighter to WWE powerhouse, Shayna Baszler is living proof that age is just a number, but greatness lasts forever. MVP, from prison to power. The man who revived Raw with the Hurt Business. Not everyone gets a second chance at greatness, especially when their story begins in the darkest chapter of their life. But Montel Vontavious Porter, better known to fans as MVP, is living proof that it's never too late to rewrite your destiny. He began his wrestling career at 29, an age when most already had their path set, but for MVP, that was just the start of something remarkable. After serving time in prison in the early 2000s, he made a promise to turn his life around. With an impressive physique, sharp charisma, and undeniable stage presence, MVP quickly caught attention on the independent circuit. Just 3 years later, WWE saw potential in him and signed him in 2005. He was sent to Deep South Wrestling, one of WWE's top developmental territories at the time, where he honed his craft before making his SmackDown debut in 2006. From the moment he arrived, MVP stood out with his flashy, multi-million-dollar athlete persona, confident, cocky, and cunning. His first major feud with Kane put him on the map, and soon after, he defeated Chris Benoit to win the United States Championship, establishing himself as a major player in the mid-card division. Over the next few years, MVP remained a consistent presence before leaving WWE in 2010 to explore opportunities overseas. In New Japan Pro Wrestling, he made history as the very first IWGP Intercontinental Champion, even toppling the legendary Hiroshi Tanahashi in the process. Later, he continued his journey in TNA, proving that talent and drive know no boundaries. Then, in 2020, MVP made a stunning return to WWE, not just as a wrestler, but as a leader. He formed the Hurt Business alongside Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander. With his sharp mic skills, commanding presence, and managerial brilliance, MVP helped transform Raw from stagnant to must-see television once again. From a man who once had nothing, MVP rose to become a symbol of redemption and resilience. His story is living proof that sometimes, those who start late end up creating the most powerful legacies. Steve McMichael, from NFL legend to wrestling's late-blooming warrior. Before stepping foot in a wrestling ring, Steve "Mongo" McMichael was already an icon in the world of football. As a dominant defensive tackle for the Chicago Bears, he helped lead his team to victory in Super Bowl 20, a triumph that forever cemented his name in NFL history. But after retiring from football in 1995, McMichael shocked everyone by pursuing a completely new path: professional wrestling. His inspiration came during WrestleMania 11, where he witnessed the showdown between Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow. The spectacle, the intensity, and the sheer energy of WWE lit a fire inside him. At 38 years old, an age when most athletes are winding down, McMichael chose to start over, determined to prove himself in one of the most demanding industries in sports entertainment. Joining WCW, he quickly made waves as a member of the legendary faction The Four Horsemen, alongside Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, and Chris Benoit. Known for his powerhouse style, grit, and relentless determination, McMichael earned the fans' respect. His crowning achievement came when he defeated Jeff Jarrett to become the WCW United States Champion, an impressive feat for someone who entered the business so late. Though his wrestling career was relatively short, McMichael's impact was undeniable. He proved that passion and perseverance could transcend age or background. Sadly, life dealt him a harsh blow. In 2021, he was diagnosed with ALS, a degenerative nerve disease that left him confined to a wheelchair. Yet, even as his body weakened, his fighting spirit never faded. Steve "Mongo" McMichael remains a shining reminder that it's never too late to chase your dreams, and that true warriors never stop fighting. Kevin Nash, the late bloomer who changed the face of wrestling. Before the name Kevin Nash became legendary, few knew that he once dreamed of becoming a professional basketball player. Standing at 6 feet 10 inches, 2.08 meters, with an athletic build, Nash played overseas in Europe until a devastating knee injury ended his basketball career prematurely. Just when it seemed like his future had closed off, fate led him down a completely different path: professional wrestling, at an age when most others had already made their mark. When Nash joined WCW in 1990 at 31 years old, things didn't start smoothly. He was given strange, forgettable gimmicks like Master Blaster Steel and Oz, a fantasy-inspired character that fans ridiculed endlessly. Yet Nash refused to quit. Through patience, natural charisma, and a sharp understanding of the business, he refined his skills and eventually left WCW to pursue new opportunities in the WWF, a move that would change everything. In the WWF, Nash was reborn as Diesel, a stoic, powerful, and magnetic bodyguard. The role instantly made him stand out, especially as Shawn Michaels' enforcer. Then, in 1994, Diesel shocked the world by capturing the WWF Championship, becoming the face of the company. While his title reign didn't hit the commercial success WWE had hoped for, Diesel still redefined what a big man in wrestling could be, blending strength with attitude and sharp intelligence. When Nash departed WWF in 1996, he and his close friend Scott Hall made a triumphant return to WCW, joining forces with Hulk Hogan to form the New World Order, NWO. The group didn't just play villains, they started a revolution. The NWO turned the wrestling world upside down, helping WCW dominate WWF in the Monday Night Wars for years. From a late starter to one of wrestling's most influential minds, Kevin Nash proved that age is no obstacle to greatness. He became not just a champion, but a visionary, a man who understood the business, controlled his narrative, and lived life entirely on his own terms. A legend who may have arrived late, but shined brighter than most. Omos, the giant who arrived late but shook the industry. Omos, real name Talyalope Omogbene, is living proof that in WWE, it's never too late to begin. Towering at nearly 7 feet 3 inches, he stands as one of the largest superstars in company history. But before stepping into the squared circle, Omos had his sights set on a professional basketball career. An unexpected injury shattered his NBA dreams, yet that very setback led him to a brand new journey in the world of wrestling. When he began training at the WWE Performance Center at 27, Omos was a true rookie. No experience, no ring background, just raw potential. But his discipline, humility, and unmatched physical presence quickly caught the attention of WWE trainers. It didn't take long for the company to recognize the massive marketability of this real-life giant. Omos' breakout moment came when he was paired with AJ Styles, one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time. The contrast between Styles' finesse and Omos' overwhelming power made them an ideal duo, leading to their WWE Raw Tag Team Championship win in 2021. While still developing in-ring skills, Omos showed he was far more than a silent powerhouse. He was a long-term investment with undeniable star quality. Step by step, Omos continues to evolve, learning how to turn his size into strategy and his presence into dominance. With determination and steady growth, he's proving that starting late isn't a weakness. Sometimes, it's exactly what makes the journey unforgettable. Age has never been a barrier for those who carry the spirit of a fighter. If you found these stories inspiring, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any other exciting videos from Wrestling Sphere.